2 and 3. Thank you so much for your cooperation. Okay, we will start the event. Before to the speaker, I would like to invite Dr. Rahma Wahdiniwati, the Dean of Faculty of Postgraduate Universitas Komputer Indonesia, to give the opening speech for the guest lecture series 2022. Dr. Rahma, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Geraldi. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, let's say thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, who has given us His grace and guidance so that we all can attend this activity today in good health. Also, greeting to Rasulullah Muhammad SAW as the last prophet with his family and his friends. Today, we can gather online for the second day guest lecture event between UITM and Unicom. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay motivated and stay healthy. I am Dr. Rahma Wahdiniwati as the Dean Faculty of Postgraduate Unicom. On this occasion, I would like to welcome again to the Honorable ones Dr. Juraini Ahmad Jurkanain as Head Faculty of Computer and Mathematical Science of University Technology Mara. Secondly, I would like to say hello to the presenter is this second day, Puan Moharanes Jamaludis BSc, MSc from UITM, and Dr. Jeffrey Ondako Putra from Unicom. Welcome to this second day guest lecture event. Also to Mr. Geraldi Catur Pramuji MT as moderator for today and Dr. Nurihan as a moderator of the first day. Please have my warm greetings. Also for participants who I believe have been faithful to attend online from this first day in yesterday. I wish you a happy gathering online and please welcome again. Dear participant, this online guest lecture activity, I believe, is a form of collaboration between the two universities in development, cooperating, and sharing knowledge and to improve the quality of education at each university. I hope the limited condition of COVID-19 do not reduce an education mission, but provide a new noise for meeting and sharing knowledge through online means. Today, I read interesting topic that will be presented such as technical and mathematics science as well as financial technology, but topic which in my opinion are always become hot topic in the era of Industry 4.0 and Society 5.0. People are and waiting for this topic. And I'm sure the speaker have prepared with the latest material of this topic. Distinguished guests, in the end, my solution. Congratulations again on joining the guest lecture event of the second day. Hopefully, many benefits will be obtained. If later there are some mistake and inconvenience, I am as half offering an apologies. This is a proverb in Indonesia said that tidak ada gading yang tidak ada retak, but perfection belong only to Allah the Almighty. I have been open the second day guest lecture event between UITM and Unicom. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Dr. Rahma, for the opening speech. Now, let us begin with session 1 of this lecture series. Let me give you some introduction about Marhani Jamaluddin from Faculty Computer and Mathematical Science, University Teknologi Mara Cawangan, Banten. I will share the CV first. Marhainis Jamaluddin has graduated her bachelor and master from the Arkansas State University in United States with Master of Science in Computer Science. She has been teaching in University Teknologi Mara since 2002 with almost 32 years experience. She has experience in industry as programmer, system analyst, and senior analyst programmer. Her research interests and publication are not limited to computer programming, data mining, machine learning, information system development, and database management. Furthermore, she is currently part of professional associations such National STEM Association or NSA, Chapter Kelantan, and various community services such as Mini Theater, STEM Kelantan, and Science to Action. Without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Marhainis Jamaluddin to deliver her topic, STEM education. To Ms. Marhainis Jamaluddin, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Pak Geraldine. Okay, let me share my screen first. Does everybody can see my screen?
Yes,
Yes, we can see.
Okay, thank you. If let's say my slide doesn't work, just let me know.
Of course.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Pak Geraldi, as a moderator, and Assalamualaikum and good morning to all the participants, to Bu Rama, Dr. Zuriani, and all the participants. Okay, so for today's guest lecture, I will start for today's guest lecture with my sharing session, the evaluation of STEM education. Okay, so the word STEM, STEAM, and STREAM. So when we talk about the STEM education, it's very vast, and you know there are so many information about STEM education. As Bu Rama said just now, it's a hot topic right now. So everybody in the world been talking about STEM education. So what I'll share today is actually as a basic and as a general, just to create the awareness of the STEM education. And also I'm going to touch about STEAM and STREAM. Okay, so the outline for my session today is introduction. I'm going to share with you the education 4.0. I mean the current education with the IR 4.0 right now. Okay, and then what is STEM? I think majority of us already know what is STEM. Okay, and then we look into STEAM and STREAM. Okay, and then lastly, we're going to see what are some of the challenges that we are facing in our STEM education. Okay, so first on education 4.0. Okay, this one is just the recall the Industrial Revolution. Okay, we have 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, and right now 4.0 and tend to be 5.0. So our education must align with this Industrial Revolution because it's a market demand. The job markets are shift in response to the technologies, the skills needed for future jobs. So the education must be aligned with these demands. Okay, so the education also must shift towards the Industrial 4.0. So highlighted by Microsoft, it says that the next 2 decades, over 90% jobs require some level of digital proficiency. And as you know that we have the COVID-19 outbreak, okay, where it's actually is quite drastic change in our lifestyle, in our business, world, economy, and as well as education. Okay, so people are quite surprised with those outbreak, and you know, during the MCO, the movement control orders last time, okay, everything shut down, even the education. Okay, so the new norms, okay, the new era, everybody needs to adapt to the new norm. The technology is there, so we have to learn. Okay, everybody need to learn and need to adapt with the new changes. Okay, so those is actually impact to the higher education, how the curriculum and the pedagogical frameworks change, so to adapt with the new era, and also the pandemic that causes a lot, the drastic change. Okay, so the new version of the learning is actually promotes learners to learn not only knowledge and skills acquired, but it's actually the source of those skills and knowledge. Okay, and this one is the 9th trend related to the Education 4.0. This is based on FIS 2017. Okay, the first trend is actually learning can be at any time, anywhere. Why? Because this is due to the internet, the connectivities. Okay, everybody connected. Even now, the webinar nowadays, it becomes easier. Okay, throughout the world, we can get connected easier. Okay, not like the old days, we cannot connect like this. Okay, due to the anytime, anywhere, except the time change only, time difference only. Okay, and the second trend will be learning becomes more personalized to individual students. So the learning change now. The students can choose their own learning. Okay, in Malaysia now, okay, we have the new we have in the secondary schools, we have 5-year secondary schools where we have lower form, okay, which is year 1 to year 3, and then we have upper form, which is year 4 and year 5. So those students that goes into year 4 and year 5, okay, we have the new package, okay, what we call it a STEM package. We have STEM A, STEM B, and STEM C, and also the humanities and social sciences. So the education also changed to cater for the science and technologies and the impact of the new era. Okay, so what is STEM A, STEM B, and STEM C is actually on the choices. Okay, student can choose. However, since we are not ready for the, students to choose, okay, so the government leave it to the schools to decide, okay, which package is suitable for them, depending on the qualifications of the teachers, expertise, and also the infrastructures. Okay, so we are not totally ready for those, package to be chosen by the students. Actually, the objective or the focus, the government focus where the secondary school students, they can choose their own timetable, okay, similar to university students. But however, we cannot implement it totally yet. But slowly, some of the schools have chosen their packages. So it's actually those packages differs in pure sciences, either pure sciences, whether applied science differs by subjects. Okay, and the third trend will be the choices, the student choice. They can choose what they want to learn, whether is it blended learning. Okay, so as far as we know that now is online learning, we have what we call flipped classroom. Flipped classroom means that we have a classroom but no students. Okay, it's everybody is online. or we can have hybrid. Okay, since now COVID-19 changed to endemic, so we can have the face-to-face classes already, but still we keep the new norm, the hybrids. Okay, some of the classes might be online due to some of the constraints of the classrooms and all those things. Okay, BYOD means that bring your own device. Okay, so that means students have their own gadgets nowadays. So those are actually the shift to the education 4.0 due to the technologies. Okay, trend number 4 is more on project-based learning or problem-based learning. Okay, instead of classroom where the students, the teachers give the assignments or the problems, we tend to give the real problems. Okay, we try to work with the industry. Okay, we try to expose the students to the real life problem so that the problems, they will discuss it in class together with their groups, with the other students to come up with the solutions. Okay, it's more to student-centered learning instead of teacher-centered learning. Whereas last time, traditional is actually the students become passive, where it's a teacher-centered learning. Okay, so the teachers will give everything and the students will listen and ask the questions. But now the teachers become facilitator. Okay, the students works on the team, okay, collaborate, communicate, find their own solution, and the teachers can only facilitate and guide them. Okay, so in the project-based learning, it's actually no right or wrong solution. Okay, so that's why in the project-based learning, it's actually we want to create the creativity, okay, the problem-solving skill. We do not limit the students' thinking. Okay, so that means broaden the students' mind, so they come up with all the ideas. Okay, even though some says that it's a crazy ideas, but actually they come up with ideas they need to justify. Okay, so we give the freedom to the students. So that's actually on education 4.0. Okay, the next trend is expose them more on hands-on learning. Okay, field experiences. Okay, link together with universities, link together with industry. Okay, through internship, mentoring projects, and collaborative projects, they feel the real problems. Okay, number 6. Okay, trend number 6, expose to data interpretation. Okay, by giving the real data. Okay, so we ask the students to apply the knowledge, the theory knowledge. Okay, and try to see apply it back to the data and how they get the results. Okay, how they interpret the results based on logic, trends. So that will be their critical thinkings and the problem solving skills. Okay, so those students actually being accessed differently. Okay, why? Because of the learning process also change. Okay, nowadays, okay, even in the universities, we have a different assessment. We have portfolio. Okay, we have seminars. Okay, even we still have some exam oriented, but we still have the group project. Okay, the presentation. Okay, so the play, the acting and everything. So the assessment also different. Okay, and also the students' feedback. Okay, we include the students' opinion in our curriculum design. Okay, we get the students' feedback, what they think about the curriculum. Okay, so we appreciate their opinions. Because why? To make them becomes more interested in learning because they need to learn. Okay, so because it's more to student-centered. So those are the 9 trends, the 9 trends related to education 4.0. Okay, it's more to student-centered, more to students' own learning. Okay, based on Dunville, okay, 2016, okay, the education change in next 5 to 7 years. Okay, the layout. The first one is the huge change in the layout of classrooms. Okay, traditionally we have rows. The desk being arranged in rows. But nowadays, okay, even in Malaysia, we have what we call it alaf baru or alaf 21. It's a 21st century learning. Okay, we have changed the classroom because why? It's more to student centered. Okay, so we put it in groups. The students sit in groups so they can discuss, they can communicate to each other. Okay, the second one, the change in teaching and learning, the online, the virtual, the augmented reality. We heard the talk about yesterday, okay, with Dr. Han about the mapping, the augmented reality. So those is actually, we bring it, simulation, bring it in the teaching and learning. It becomes more fun to the students, especially in the simulation, okay? And then the third one, the flexible assignment. Okay, the flexible assignments to accommodate different learning styles. Okay, just now I said it's portfolio. Okay, for art students, they have to create their own portfolio. Or we have seminars. Okay, during the seminars, we access them, how they arrange the seminars. And also on the forum, okay, we leave it to the students to handle it. And we access how they arrange those. Okay, and then the fourth one, okay, the change, education change is the online. Okay, we have heard about MOOC, Massive Open Online Courses, and all other online learning options. Okay, such as we have Google Classroom, we have Kami, we have even Teams. So all embed with all the animations and everything, the recording. Okay, even now the tools to make our teaching materials more interesting, animated, animate those and everything, becomes more interesting. Okay, so those are the tools, those are the education will change. We will see this keep changing. And nowadays, we can see all the tools, okay, been upgraded, to the, include the new features, okay, and also the new tools to help teachers in their teaching. Okay, and also the learning preferences. Okay, in education 4.0, we have seen Gen Z. Okay, even now we have Gen Alpha already, who are, what we said is their best friends is actually gadgets, the technology. Okay, they can't live without their handphone or without the gadgets. Even the iPads now, they learn, they go to schools, okay. In the old days, we bring books, okay, papers, pen, okay, but nowadays, they're bringing iPad only, or the computers, okay. And then the pen becomes all electronic, the technologies, okay, those is actually the Gen Z, okay. They want the interactive learning environment. They want the two-way communication. Okay, they don't want the one-way communication. Okay, they want two ways, and they want to see the interactive screen. Okay, for example, that if you play games, then the class becomes interesting. Okay, they do not want the one-way communication. There's static ways like the traditional ways of teaching. Okay, because of their preference difference already, because of the technology, the era technology, they are in their technology era. So those actually we have to adapt to them, to change, to cater for their preference, the needs. So we keep learning. And the technology keep changing so fast. Okay, and then learning is without boundaries nowadays. Anywhere, anytime, anywhere. Even you can learn. During midnight. Okay. Even the library is also closed 5 o'clock or maybe 12 o'clock. But the internet is actually 24 hours and every day. And the resources you can get. Unlimited resources. Google nowadays, what we call it, Mr. Google. You can just ask Mr. Google anything and then you will get the answer from there. Okay, so that's how the learning change now. Okay, active calibration. Yeah, the students nowadays, they will straight away meet online. They will prefer doing the meet online instead of face-to-face. Because that one is available anytime. The forum, okay? If let's say they got stuck, okay, they have problems. So they just go and ask forum, because in the world, you know, the forums, you can get the answer anywhere. Okay, so those is actually how our education changed. Okay, we are saying the education 4.0. Now we have introduced education 5.0, where it include the human inside there. So it keep changing. So we as a lecturers or a teachers, educators, we also need to adapt and change. We keep changing. Even in our universities, teaching in universities, every semester, our materials also change. Why? Because we need to make it suitable with our students' background. Okay? So that's why the change, the education change. Okay, because of the era has changed. Okay, and this one is the skills, okay, needed in 2020. This is student skills, to embed the soft skills. These are the top 10 skills. Okay, as you can see there, I've listed the top 3 there. Complex problem solving, critical thinking, and creativity. Why? Because it's student-centered. It's a project-based or problem-based learning. So these are the top skills needed for the students. So we need to embed that in our teaching so that students be able to acquire these skills once they graduated. Okay, the first one, problem solving, critical thinking, creativity. The fourth one, we have people management. Okay, people management, coordinating with others. Okay, emotional intelligence, judgment, decision making, service orientation, negotiation, flexibility. So those 4 and above is actually more on human. Okay, so the skills. So it's actually, it already shift the skills needed. Last time we are looking on the technical skills. Technical skills we can acquire through the academic. But these skills, the soft skills, is actually by practice. Okay, by the, the soft skills, is actually by practicing, by calibrations, by exposing them to the real life. Those is actually, they will acquire those skills. Okay, and the last one I put that is the outbreak. Okay, that is actually the major one that we have to change no matter what. The STEM's education, is actually, we heard this before the outbreak, but since the outbreak, it becomes the hot topics. Yeah, so due to that, that's an impact to the world economy, government, people, our lifestyle, our shopping. Last time, we will go to the shopping malls, but nowadays, we'll just punch in our smartphones, okay? And then it comes delivered to your doorstep. Okay, the same goes with the education. Education also online. Okay, everything is online. And you can, give the students about the real problems. You can have the industry, give the talks. Even, okay, we can invite the speakers from overseas. Okay, even there is a time difference. Those how we connect nowadays. The era, okay, the technology changed everything already. So the education also changed. We need to align with the era now. So the norms and everything. Okay. Okay, the next one, we goes into STEM. Okay, I have, introduced the education 4.0. We align with the Industrial Revolution 4.0. Now we go into STEM. What is STEM? Okay, so when I said STEM, okay, comes into mind is actually science, mathematics. Okay, so that's what students. Okay, when you ask students what is STEM, their perception and misconception, they will say that they were afraid to take STEM. Why? They are afraid of science and mathematics, especially additional mathematics. So they will prefer to go for arts and social sciences and humanities instead of STEM. Okay, so STEM is actually S stands for science, okay, T stands for technology, E stands for engineering, and M stands for mathematics. Okay, what is science? Science is actually the study of natural world, including laws of nature. It's actually about physics, chemistry, biology. Okay, when we say physics, chemistry, biology, that's the students afraid of. Okay, their perception says that these subjects are very complex and complicated. Okay, so that's why, but it's actually in our real life. Okay, when we say biology, it's about plants, it is about animals, you know, it's our environment. Okay, in reality, it's actually it's actually in the itself, the environment itself, the biology, but it's indirectly. We do not notice that. The chemistry, water that we drink, you know, the carbonated drinks, okay, the food, okay, the chemistry, you know, the medicine, the tablets, it's actually the chemistry inside that. The physics, the velocity, you know, the movement. You drive the car, okay, whether fast or not, the speed, it's actually physics. We live with that. Okay, but when we define that, and it becomes complicated, but it's actually we live with that already. Okay, the technology, this mostly students will prefer. Why? Because it's something about, when we say technology, what is in technologies? And they will say it's a computer, okay, TV, okay, televisions, okay, gadgets, smartphones and everything. But actually, when we say technology, is comprises of the entire systems of people, organization, knowledge, process, devices, okay, the tools that we use in creating or operating products and process. Even the pencil itself is a technology. Okay, the machine, okay, in industrial, okay, that's technologies. But when you ask a student what is technology, they come up with the handphone or the computer. That's their mind now. Okay, so it's actually the technology. It helps the people to create, operate the products and processes, the tools needed. Okay, engineering. That's another term, engineering. Okay, and it becomes complicated. That's why when we say STEM, student will run away. Okay, because of these terms. But it's actually, without noticing it, you live it already. You live in the society, in the environment itself. It consists of science, engineering, technology, and mathematics. Okay, so engineering is a body of knowledge about the design, creation of products, okay, the process and solving problems, okay, and engineering utilize the science, mathematics, and technology tools, okay, building the house, building the house, even the small house, so it's engineering, designing things, before you build the house, you need to design, okay, and lastly, mathematics, okay, mathematics, okay, so it's actually in schools, we have modern mathematics, okay, and also we have additional mathematics, okay, similar to calculus, you know, algebra, and those things. Mathematics is actually the study of pattern. When we say mathematics is about numbers, okay, so it's actually the patterns and the relationship of quantities, numbers and shapes, geometry, you know, the mathematics. Okay, when we'll see the painting, it's actually from the geometry, from the mathematics. Okay, so it's actually, we have not noticed that. In our life, we have used all this. Okay, even the, you know, the businessmen, okay, or the hawkers, the restaurants, okay, they use mathematics to count monies, even to count people, so it's actually mathematics, counting, okay, even, you know, the elders, science, mathematics, they use it daily. Okay, so that is actually STEM. Okay, so we look into some of the history, this what is, I mean, the word STEM itself. Okay, STEM is actually, at first, it known as math. Okay, when we pronounce math, it's not nice compared to STEM. Okay, SMAT is actually stands for Science, Mathematics, Engineering, and Technology. It's actually the arrangement. At first, it's known as math because it's science first, mathematics is already, a long time already. Science, mathematics, and engineering, but the technology is a new one. Okay, so it goes by the sequence. So it began in 1990s in United States. Okay, however, later, okay, NFS changed that to STEM. Okay, why? Because STEMs, when you hear STEMs, it becomes a nicer sound. Yeah, STEMs is actually the arrangement. Okay, why NFS changed it? Just to simplify and integrate the terms instead of the sequence. Okay, so it's actually it focused on promoting students with critical thinking and problem-solving skills, be more competitive because of the challenging world. Okay, STEM curriculum, the main focus is actually addressing on facts and problems, okay, by giving the well-known, clear solutions. That's why most of the students, they run away because of the facts and problems, looking at the physics, chemistry, biology, okay, mathematics, and additional maths, and they run away. Okay, they will prefer arts, or they will say that they will just take physics and chemistry, but not biology. Okay, and later on, okay, they embed the technologies, okay, in collaborative learning. To make students ready for the 21st century working environment in STEM areas. Okay, so this is I just want to share the STEM in Malaysia. Okay, so in Malaysia, we have Malaysia Education Blueprint, okay, for education 2013 to 2025, where is to strengthen STEM education in Malaysia. So it's actually been there already before the pandemic, before the outbreak. Okay, to increase the students and teacher awareness. Okay? Even though it's already in the blueprint, but the implementation is quite slow. So that's why the government, the Higher Education Ministry, enforced to make sure that to increase the awareness, so the implementation will be easier. Okay, Malaysia has a policy of having 60-40 ratio of science to non-science at higher education, okay, to ensure competencies in science and technology as a developed nation. However, up to date, we have not reached to that ratio. So that's why some of the universities, industries, okay, we collaborate together with the schools in the STEM activities, okay, to strengthen and to create the awareness. Okay, the new approach to learning and strengthen the curriculum, teachers training, discussions with stakeholders. Okay, the STEM education will be more comprehensive and inclusive. So this is, we need the helps from the universities, okay, from the industry, the stakeholders, so that we work together with the Higher Education Ministry, okay, some activities to create the creativity, innovative programs, okay, so that the students, to increase students and teachers' awareness of the STEM education in Malaysia. Okay, so this is some issues. Okay, some studies that says that in United States, a decline in students' performance and students' interest in STEM subject, okay, compared to the growth of the innovation, science and innovation. So it's actually is quite, warning, this one, because of the declining and also the interest. And for the National Assessment of Education Progress, okay, it says here, this one is also in the United States, it says that not proficient in mathematics. Okay, in Malaysia, okay, we have TIMSS, TIMSS and PISA assessment, which results that not too encouraging in science and mathematics subjects, okay, which is ranked the bottom 2/3 compared to Singapore, Japan, South Korea, and even Vietnam. Okay, Singapore, Japan, South Korea, those is actually the developed countries. Okay, but still Malaysia below Vietnam. Vietnam is a developed countries. Okay, so this is quite alarming. So that's why our Ministry of Education try to calibrate with the industries, even with the association and the NGOs and all those things, to create those awareness, the interest in STEM. Okay, so those are the issues. Okay, and we'll see the evolution. So we have talked about STEM. Okay, STEM, we know that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. How to increase the awareness, so that the students, the perception of the students, the interest of the students, you know, to STEMs. Okay, we add an A to STEM. Okay, becomes STEAM. STEAM is actually, we add an A. What is A? A is actually for arts. Okay, and then we add R to STEAM. So what is R? R is actually for reading and writing. Okay, so if you can see previously, we have those skills, those skills, peoples, everything, you know, when you want to talk to people, you want to make a decision, you need some knowledge. You need to read, okay, so that you can convince people, the human factor, so that's why we have three there, reading and writing. Okay, so we add an R. So next slide, we talk about STEAM. Okay, we add A in our STEM. It's still STEM, except that STEM does not interest most of the students. So we put A inside there. Okay, A stands for arts. Okay, so this theme is actually introduced in January 2013 by Congressional Caucus, where it aimed to recognize the benefit of both arts and sciences for future generation. We want to include the human factors inside there. Okay, visual arts, okay, according to McGrath and Brown and Harrison, okay, visual arts will bring more motivation, engagement, and impact on STEM learning. So by integrating the arts, okay, makes students more holistic. They use both left and right brains. Okay, students becomes more creative, okay, increase their critical thinking, ability to solve problem solving skills, communication, and also the calibration. So that's why we include the arts. Okay, the students, you know, we try to slightly change the students' perception of STEM. So that's why we put arts inside there. Okay, arts enable students to discover humanity and nature. Okay, studies in neuroscience show that human beings have the ability to learn through visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. So kinesthetic, you know that we use psychomotor. So visual, some of the students, they learn through mind mapping, you know, by drawing. Okay, so, but every students, every of us is actually have different learning style. Yeah, even some of the students, they listens to music to learn. Okay, so it's actually, this one is arts. Arts is very big, it's very vast. It can be liberal arts. Okay, so that's why we include arts in STEM. Sorry. So it becomes STEM. So STEM framework is actually to simulate students' mode of inquiry. Okay, we want students to ask questions. We open them to ask questions, any questions they can ask. Okay, even it's a crazy one, or even it's a dumb questions, we will give the students freedom to ask. Okay, we simulate the inquiry. That's why we say that education now is actually two ways. The teachers become the facilitator. We throw the question to the students, so the students be able to answer or to inquire back. Okay, so let's say, for example, we have a picture. So we show them the picture and ask them to ask the question based on the pictures. Okay, so we let them think. Okay, freedom to think. Okay, critical thinking. Okay, we give the real problems to solve. Okay, even it's a simple one, like say flood. Okay, how to identify the flood. Okay, so let them think, because some of them may be involved during the flood season. Okay, so let them think. Maybe they come up with the ideas. Even if it's a small problems, try that. Encourage them to think. Okay, critical thinking, problem solving, through experiential, teamwork, creativity. Okay, which this one leads to innovation. Okay, we are creating innovators, a creator nowadays. Okay, this one I want to share from our former prime ministers, that says that a society that is innovative and forward-looking, one that is not only a consumer of technology, but also a contributor to the scientific and technological civilization of the future. So it says here that everybody can contribute, not only consume, okay, not only use, everybody can contribute. So it's actually, this statement is more the multidisciplinary approach with the humanities and social sciences. Okay, it integrates together the arts and the STEM, okay, to become more creative and innovative. Okay, so this one, how do we integrate the education with arts? Okay, as we know that the world problems and challenges of the 21st century is actually very complex, and we need everybody to get involved. Okay, so here we have STEM already, we have science, we have technology, we have engineers, we have mathematics, we have scientists. I'm sorry, that's a spelling errors. Okay, we have scientists, we have technology experts, we have engineers, we have mathematicians. Okay, so scientists, what they do, they investigate, they investigate the causes of the problems. The technology expert, okay, they create, supply equipment, the technology tools. Okay, engineers, okay, their responsibilities, their functions is to design and construction. They cannot do it alone. Okay, they have to do, it's actually, all of this is actually interrelated. Mathematicians estimate the amount of financial support. Okay, for example, we have the disaster. Okay, COVID-19, the outbreak, COVID-19. Okay, for sure we need the scientists, okay, to investigate, to come up with the vaccine. Okay, we need the technology so that we can see the new cases every day. So how does it change? Okay, we need the engineers. Okay, so to design. Okay, what happens to build up our economy back? And the mathematicians, okay, to estimate the financial parts. Okay, but still we need others. We need arts. Why? The elements of human factors there. Okay, we need empathy, the teamwork, because we are working in a group. Okay, so we need empathy, we need teamwork, communication. You know, you cannot work alone. Okay, that's why we integrate arts inside there. We integrate the human factors. Okay, when you want to make a decision making, okay, so it's supposed to be in the team. So how can you manage the projects, okay, the solutions? Okay, so those is actually the calibration, the communication skill. So that's why we need arts inside there. Okay, so that's how we integrate the STEM education with arts because of the challenge and the problems that we are facing now. Okay, when world change, we also need to change, and we need each other to solve the problems. Okay, and this one is I'll share with you the comparison. Okay, the design activities, okay, in technology, in engineering, and in arts, where I highlight the similarities. Okay, so this one is design in technologies. Okay, this one is based on International Technology Education Association. Okay, design in technology, it says identify a design problem. Okay, and then identify the criteria, constraint, refine, and then do the prototypes, modeling, and then you evaluate your design. Okay, even technologies, even let's say you are doing your programming or you are doing your information system development, you need to have the design first. Okay, identify the requirements. Okay, and then you are creating your interface, your coding, the prototypes, you test it first. Okay, see the solution, the design solution. Okay, and then you get it tested first, and then find the bugs, okay, refine those things before it's actually being used. Okay, so evaluate the, find the solutions. Okay, the communication is there, the teamwork is there, the calibration is there. Okay, that's in the technology. Okay, design in engineering. And the activities, this one is based on National Research Council 2010. Okay, still define the problems. We need to define the problems. Before we start designing anything, we need to define the problems. Maybe the ways is slightly different. Okay, and then you develop the possible solutions and then compare the trade-off. Okay, and then choose the best solution. Okay, that's a design in engineering. Okay, now design in arts. Is it different? Okay, maybe some says that why you need to include arts in STEM? Okay, because art is humanities. You cannot combine it with STEM. Okay, and we see the activities when you design in arts. Okay, this one is based on Davis, 1998. Still, identification of the problem. So the activities is quite similar. Okay, okay, research and ranking of the priorities. Okay, the task for the multiple solution. It's actually all these technology, engineering. When you do designing, there are similarities. Okay, so conclusion, it says that real problems require consideration of constraint, optimization, trade-off to find the best solution in design process. Importantly, the concern is actually users, okay, human factors inside there. So that's why we include the arts inside there. Okay. And then we continue the problem-based learning. Okay, the project-based learning, what we call it FBL. Okay, sorry, PBL. Okay, enhance and the inclusive learning environment. Okay, where students need to participate. Okay, everybody need to participate in team. Okay, students work in team to find solutions. Help students to investigate relevant concept. That's why we say education now is actually student-centered. We give them problems. Okay, and they work together. There is no right or wrong. Okay, it's actually they work together, find all the information, okay, all the knowledge, okay, the relevant concepts and everything, okay, and they try to present it, Okay, the solution, the choices, what are the solution? And they need to compare which one is the best solution. Okay, so it's actually more student-centered. The teachers, the educators is actually as a facilitators. Okay, I include here STEAM in Korea include education both in and out of school. Okay, this one is based on the studies Geo, Hong and Son 2016. Okay, in Korea, that's an example where they give like eggs or chicks, even fruits to students to bring it home. Okay, and they have to take care of those items for a week, and then after a week they come back and tell their experience. So it's actually the education in STEM. It's not only in the classroom. It's beyond that. Even the students do not continue to the higher education, they still need to do STEM. Okay? They need those skills, STEM skills to survive, especially in this era. Okay, I just want to share the STEAM in Malaysia. Even though we don't call it STEAM, but the A is there. In Malaysia, we have the activities such as mini theatre STEM. Okay, it's actually a drama where a group of students will act on stage presenting their innovation. Okay, they have the innovation. Okay, they have to present it. Okay, usually they present it using slides and everything, similar to what I'm doing now. Okay, but we want to add the interesting part. We put it as a drama. They have to act on stage. Okay, presenting their innovation. What are the problems? What are their solutions? What are the impacts? Do they need to act? They need to play a role, okay, on stage to act so the audience will understand their innovation. Okay, those are the objective of the mini theatre STEM. This is, organized by a National STEM Association. Okay, and then we have storytelling. STEM storytelling, not only we know storytelling. Okay, we know storytelling. It's actually, telling narrative, telling stories, any kind of stories. But this one, we put STEM. You need to tell the story about your creative activities. Okay, let's say, for example, the origami. This one involving preschool students and primary school students. Okay, just now the mini theatre STEM is actually involving the secondary school students. Okay, the bigger students. But storytelling, STEM storytelling is actually we are practicing the students, the preschool. To tell the stories of what they are doing. Okay, especially in STEM, let's say mathematics. Maybe they draw, okay, or maybe they build a shape, a geometry shape. Okay, so they need to tell the stories. So that's how we include the STEM in storytelling. Okay, we also have the activities STEM forensic. STEM forensic, this one is to secondary and tertiary students. Okay, university students and also the secondary students. Forensic is more on investigation. Okay, the investigation on the problems and how they will present their findings. Okay, so those are some of the activities that we have in Malaysia to increase the interest and the awareness of STEM. We do not call that STEAM yet. It's still STEM. But actually, we are doing STEAM. We put A inside there, arts. Okay? We want students to be more innovative, to be more creative. Okay? So that's why we put the A inside there, even though we just call it STEM. Okay? So maybe, hopefully, later we will call it STEAM. but still I think they will prefer STEM rather than STEAM. Okay, the next one, we put an R. Okay, just now we put A to STEM. Okay, STEMs is already there. Okay, STEAM is already there. We put arts, we put some elements of social sciences, humanities and arts inside STEM. Okay, then we change some of the people perception, saying that science and technology students are nerd, you know, with the glasses, with the black large glass, maybe we change their perception, it becomes more socialized, more sociable. Okay, then we include the R inside STEAM. The R. The R is actually for reading and writing. Okay, this is why we need to include the R inside here. We need new knowledge. You need to read. Okay, and then to present something, the reporting, you need to write. The communication, when you want to communicate, you need to have a knowledge before you can communicate. So that's why we put the R in STEAM. Okay, aim to have effective communication skills for social interaction. Okay, decision making, the people management, the skills, the top 10 skills in 2020. Okay, even required now, to gain new knowledge, you need to read. Okay, reading is good. We want to, increase the reading habits. Okay, so according to YOL, 23, science literacy enables learners to build their knowledge of science and to do and communicate science. Just now, the activities, STEM storytelling. Storytelling, you need to read. Okay, you need to write. Okay, even the drama, okay, the forensic. Okay, so that's why we stress on the R. However, this one is actually, we have done this actually, before we put STEM, STEAM or STREAM, is actually we have done that already. We need to read, we need to write. Okay, we need to be creative, we need to be innovative, except now we have the term specific to that. Okay, so STREAM, it becomes popular now, it gained popularity now. Okay, why? Because it enhanced the 21st century skills, okay, release the creativities, okay, enable learnings and practice, promotes more student-centered learning. Okay, so if R inside there, so students can inquire more. So we need that. Okay, we need is actually, we don't want teacher-centered, we want student-centered. We want students to ask questions. Okay, so that is actually a stream. Okay, and this one is some of the challenges, okay, that we are facing even in STEM, STEAM or STREAM. The commitment and support, okay, from stakeholders, government, teachers, like say funding. Okay, the teachers also, we need the commitment from there. They have to commit, they have to give support for the STEM education. Okay, whether it's a STEM, STEAM or STREAM, they must give the commitment and support. Also, we need from stakeholders. Okay, stakeholders, the ministry, the government, okay, even the industry, everybody need to give commitment and support so that we can implement STEM smoothly. Okay, the next challenge is actually the teacher's expertise. So the teacher's expertise, teach specific discipline related to teacher's expertise or background, especially in primary school or secondary school. Okay, so we need to have that. Okay, let's say, for example, let's say I'm in computer science background. Okay, if let's say I go to school, let's say we don't have enough teachers in science, okay, or in physics or mathematics. Because our background, even though computer science, we have mathematics, we have physics, we have chemistry, so they will say that you can teach. Even English. English, let's say that you graduated overseas, then they will say that you can teach English. Then they will ask you to go to, trainings and all those things. So the teacher's expertise, that's a challenge. Okay, curriculum development. We need to align. Okay, like say for the free school, what are the, the focus? What are the aim? Okay, it's not going to be similar to the primary school. Preschool is maybe different. Okay, how to create the creativity inside that. And then the primary school, maybe is introduction to STEM as a general. Okay, to attract the students, become more interest. And then when it goes to secondary schools, then it becomes more specific. Okay, let's say I just now I mentioned. Okay, the ministry have a few packages where the students can choose. However, it depends on teachers' expertise. Also the qualifications. Okay, another challenge is the support group. Okay, we need the support groups for teachers. Okay, so let's say, for example, STEM, okay, STEAM, stream. So the teachers needs help to understand what those means and what are the responsibilities, what are the activities. Okay, so we need to calibrate, we need to create the support group so that we can help each other. Okay, next one is on the training. Trainings to teachers. Okay, so professional development for STEAM. Okay, I would say that STEAM because STEAM is actually STEM. So that teachers, okay, or educators be more versed, well versed in teaching. And also recognition and award. The contribution, okay, for teachers, we need to recognize their effort. Maybe we can encourage them to be a leader so that people can refer to, so experts in that area. So these actually are the some of the challenges highlighted. So hopefully that the STEM education, they're still lacking in some of the research in a STEM, even in STEAM and stream, so that's why it says that it's a hot topic now, and we are trying, everybody are trying their parts in STEM education, activities and everything to increase the awareness, the interest of the students. Okay, so I think that, okay, so I just want to share some of the activities. This is, it's actually the mini theater STEM, okay, a drama, okay, so how they act, okay, presenting their innovation on stage. Okay, so these are some of the activities. So this is the creative way how they act with all the costumes and everything. Okay, so I think that's my last slide. Okay, so those are the references, and thank you all for your attention today. And sorry if there is any, all the grammars and everything. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, so thank you all for attention today. So thank you. I pass back to you, Pak Gilardi.
Thank you, Mrs. Marhainis, for the inspiring presentation. Now, I would like to welcome any question from the floor. Is there any questions? You can type your question in the chat, or you can straight away unmute your mic and communicate in real time with us and the speaker. Okay, maybe we will wait for the question from the audience, for the participant. In the meantime, I would like to ask a question myself, Mrs. Marhainis.
Yeah, go ahead.
What the modification may be needed to implement this the STEM, especially for the institution and for the teachers? What is the requirement needed to prepare the lecturers or the teacher to implement the STEM? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pak Laradi. It's actually the teachers itself. I think they must be in a specific discipline. Okay, for example, in STEM, we have physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, and additional mathematics. So, based on the qualification, especially in secondary schools, on upper form. Okay, on lower form is more general, but upper form we want it to be specific based on their master's background. Let's say, for example, if you have physics or mathematics, then you might teach that subjects. Then it will help because that's your expert in that area. Okay, am I answering your question?
Yes. Is there any difference how to teach in STEM and between conventional education and the STEM education?
Okay, I think nowadays, in the traditional way, last time, as we remember, during our school days, last time, it's a one-way communication where, the teachers will write on the board, and then the students will copy and everything. But nowadays, it's more on student-centered, where usually the teachers will be facilitated, they will give the problems. Okay. One in Singapore, I think Temasek Education. Okay, they have the lab where they bring the students. They have the tools. Similar with Dr. Han show yesterday. You know, the lab with the simulation. Yeah. In Singapore, what they call it a sandbox center. Okay, for STEM, where they have the room. And all the tools, so the students will go there in groups, try to to create something out of those tools. That's the one that the education now. They have to try things hands-on. Instead of the traditional way, it's a one-way communication. Okay, so
Okay.
am I answering your question?
Yes, of course. And the last I interested is how is the institution itself can provide the facilities for STEM, because I think for the interactive learning we should have a good facilities for it.
Okay, so let's say, for example, okay, I give the example as a BD theatre STEM just now. Okay, we have the group of the students in secondary school. So we attach that with universities and also teachers. Okay, so the teachers will guide the students and we link together with university if they need the facilities. Okay, for example, okay, maybe let's say universities, they have the the lab for tests on, chemistry. Like say, for example, they have the products on cosmetic. Okay, so they need to test their materials or items so they can link with the industry or even with the university to test the products. That's why we did. That's why we said that everybody has to take part, so to help each other.
So the one key is the collaboration itself between the stakeholders. Yes.
Yes, it's true.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Farhani.
Okay.
Any other questions from the floor? Okay, I think there are no more questions. Mrs. Farhani, I would like to thank you once again for your lovely presentation.
Okay, thank you very much,
Thank you.
everybody.
Okay, now let's move on to session 2 from Dr. Yefri Handoko Putra. Before I invite Dr. Yefri to share topic, let me share with you his biography. I will share the screen for the biography. Please wait a moment. Dr. Jeffrey Handoko Putra is the head of Information System Master Program, Universitas Komputer Indonesia. He has been teaching in Unicom since 2000. He has graduated from Institute Teknologi Bandung, Indonesia with doctoral in physics engineering. He has certifications such as TOGAF 9, Certified Information Auditor or CISA, Certified Enterprise Architecture Professional. As a professional, he has several activities such as trainer DevOps, enterprise architect consultant, IS auditor, and ISO assessor, ERP designer, and as an owner of Big Cinnamon Cookies. His research interests and publication are not limited to IT governance, risk management and compliance, enterprise architect, IT audit and assurance, robotic, pattern behavior, and intelligence control. He is currently part of several profession associations like ISAKA, ISINDO, Apticom, and IndoSAIS. Without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Jeffrey Handoko Putra to deliver his topic entitled IT Risk Management and Financial Technology.
Thank you
For
very much.
Dr. Jeffrey, the floor is yours.
Yes, Sir Gerardi, thank you very much. Thank you, Puan Maharanis, for the very good presentation, I think, of the STEM. Okay, let me sharing my presentation. Okay. I want to find the relation between the Puan Maharani's presentation of the STEM. Almost every fintech employee is graduated from the STEM. And if we correlate it with Mr. Hanan in the first day, and almost in the regulator of fintech use a sandbox. I think the sandbox is very familiar in accountants and in financial technology. I would like to give a topic about what is a fintech and what students should learn from fintech. Is not only a content student, but also information system will have a curriculum in financial technology. And what is fintech in Indonesia? And fintech problem in Indonesia, the vulnerability and risk mitigation. So if we say about the risk management, it will not lose about the risk mitigation, of course. Oh, sorry. This is the title, the IT risk management. Okay. Firstly, what is the financial technology on we so-called fintechs? Fintech is the result of a combination of financial service and technology that ultimately change the business model from conventional to moderate. This is the very trends if Puan Maharani said is a conventional in education. This is conventional in taxation of financial and money. This initially we use pay face-to-face and bring some cash, and now we don't see any face because we know our money is going to another account or another reckoning. To put in simply, fintech is a type of company in the financial services sector that is combined with technology, of course. It can also be interpreted as a segment in the startup. Almost in Indonesia is the mini startup. I can say one, maybe have 100 startup in Indonesia in 2022 that help to maximize the use of technology to sharpen, transform, and accelerate various aspects in financial service. So it's the function in financial technology I use to buy something in food, we use Indonesia, use GoPay, use Oppo, we use money, we use digital wallets. And we see almost the generation of that, Ms. Puan Mani said, it's a Gen Z, almost Gen Z, almost the millennium generation use this financial technology. We are in a race with Gen Z to use the financial technology. So they're starting from payment methods, fund transfer, loan, fundraising, crowdfunding, and to asset management can be done quickly and briefly thanks to the use of modern technology. So that is only happen in our mobile. We can pay bill, we can pay tax, we can buy a ticket, we can buy a ticket for cinema, ticket for the train, we can buy food, we can going to somewhere in Indonesia. The point to point in two vehicle transportation, a Gojek, Grab, or in Malaysia's Uber, is can get you from your host, from your in front of your host to the in front of other hosts. It's very simple and very accurate. So when Martin say, the mobile phone is very important thing. So we can live with a mobile phone. The finance technology almost we done in mobile phone. Can use tablet or so on. Today, fintech is enabling billions of transactions globally in areas such as domestic money transfer. We can send money. I can send money to Malaysia using Flip. Flip is a startup money to transfer without paying much. If I transfer from the bank to the bank, I have to make more money for the remittance or international money transfer is more price to be paid for international money transfer. But if I use Flip, it's only about 20,000 rupiah. It's more cheap. Peer-to-peer money lending is the most make problem in Indonesia. Is a pinjaman online. Sometimes they are not strict to the rule of the bank, and peer-to-peer money lending is so-called the shadow banking. They not allowed. They not admit and the bank rules. Fund deposit, retail payment, payment for utility service and taxes. I already mentioned it. Disbursement of fund is very quickly, and we can make a liquidify the money in just about 2 minutes. We can liquidify the share to be the case in only about 2 minutes. It's very fast before. When I can buy a share, I can buy a stock with just a mobile. An individual can buy a stock without a brokerage company. And also we can deliver a social welfare. This is the important in globally in financial technology. What we should do to teach the student? I'm very interested with the presentation from Puan Maharinis. What we should do in STEM and what we should do about fintechs, and who the student we will receive this material, and what is the curriculum we should conduct to our student. Student in information system in our department has to know about the information asymmetry. If the information is not balanced from two sides, maybe investor is more have a knowledge than customer, so customer have a less protection, or maybe the customer is more knowledge about investor. This is the problem. Is we should have teach the student this is asymmetry information in financial technology. This is make most the problem will happen with asymmetric. Financial stability, we have to trade off between financial stability, competition, and innovation, and data protection. President Jokowi, Indonesian president, in 216 has already mentioned in G20 about the financial inclusive. So every people can have the same opportunity to get a financial affair. Cybersecurity, of course, is already mentioned by Dr. Wan Farha. And in the first day, in the challenge between the regulator of fintech is Bank Indonesia, and the provision is OJK. OJK is a financial service provider as a provision about the financial technology. The technology is a company who are doing the financial technology to make this lending. We call so the financial operator. They don't have the risk of the operation. They just make lender and borrower to meet. Okay, I will say it more in the next slide. E3 system integration, interconnection, and interoperability. We can do in iPhone. We can do lending from Android. It's not a problem now. In Industry 4.0, it's not a problem. And market integrity, one platform has many regulators. Maybe is it the problem in Indonesia, of course, in another country, the problem of fintech is many regulator. For example, regulator from the financial affair, Indonesian banking, and or from the Ministry of Information. We also have issue global anti-money laundering and counterfeit risk. We have to do the customer due diligence. We have the Indonesian financial bank should know who is his customer. Is he a political opposition, or he is tend to be an agent of the terrorists, or they doing money laundering? In Indonesia, there is a department called PPATK. PPATK have a job to doing anti-money laundering and counterfeit financial. And also in this, if we talk to the student, they think, what is this? Is this not related to the student? At least we can teach about the anti-fraud. We can see when we teach them about the investment fraud, about the investasi bodong, Ponzi scam. Oh, they will know about that. But if we teach about the asymmetry, they will not interesting. But if we teach them about the investment fraud and anti-nostalgia of duty, when people can make something from the central about the doing any fraud transaction with a segregation of duty. So this we can talk to the student. We teach them this is have to do. And in 2009, there is a corruption curriculum we'll state about this curriculum. I think there is also in bachelor and is less in master degree about the corruption curriculum. We need this. We need corruption curriculum. We need about the nostalgia of duty. We need the student to know the anti-fraud and so on about the fintech, about the financial technology. In Indonesia, we divide fintech in two types. OJK, Financial Services Authority, divided into fintechs 2.0. I think right now is the trend. Someone say about point. Society 5.0, Industry 4.0, and also in fintech. Fintech 2.0 is included all institutions in financial like banking. But in the startup, there are no banking institution. Is a fintech 3.2. We also use OVO, we also use GoPay to pay something, to buy in marketplace, and we also have an invitation. You can buy a coin, we can buy property, we can go to financial insurance. Indonesia have also a Sharia payment. The Sharia payment also, like in Malaysia, it is a startup fintech which is used to lend to have a crowdfunding in the term of Sharia provision. The most fintech Indonesian startup is for P2P lending, pinjaman online, which is make a problem in Indonesia. I will sharing to the Malaysian student and the Malaysian people what is the problem with P2P lending or pinjaman online. And the second startup is payment for money, payment for transaction with the bank, but still not much about the remittance. International transfer is less than domestic payment. And also blockchain, crypto coin, we can buy crypto coin, we can buy stock, without a brokerage company, I can buy many stock, I can buy many crypto. In Indonesia in 2020, crypto coin have been banned by MUI, Indonesia Ulama Muslim. So they say that crypto is not halal, it's haram. Okay. Also, there's a personal finance, insurtech, crowdfunding, comparison, and there is a post services. You can make a transaction in the small medium enterprise or UMKM to pay and to governance days later. Also, it's a distributed ledger. I think kalau if you have in content, there's a distributed ledger like a Mocha, name it Mocha in Indonesia. Is this a distributed ledger which can governance in crypto or in cash of money? The assurance is still not much in Indonesia. People in Indonesia is not use the assurance for in fintechs. This is the mapping of initial fintech. You can see there's many. I can say one more, but it's about 100, 200, 222. About it's very large and very many variants about payment, lending, and this is not say about the Islamic payment. There is also Islamic payment in Sharia provision. Okay, maybe you have already used. I have used much more, but also I was amazed. This is a lot, and this is many fintechs in Indonesia I ever know. Before this presentation, I only know about 2 until 12 fintechs, but when I present this, I amazed. This is Indonesia, and it have more fintechs. Fintech based in Indonesia, what is they doing? Why we can doing only with bank? Indonesian bank says that many small medium enterprise is not touched by the bank. They have to find bank, they can get a credit, they can get a loan because some requirement is not easy to fill with a small medium enterprise. So the fintech find this is a very good opportunity. They meet some small medium enterprise and give less requirement to get a loan. 49 million is not touched by the bank, and it's about more than 980 trillion needs that have to be funded to SMA. So about 150 billion disbursement of financing through P2P, to peer-to-peer lending is the fintech company, which is make a meet from the borrower and the lender. Okay, I skip this and we can see what is the ecosystem. If we want to talk about the risk management, the first thing we have to say about the domain or the ecosystem. Who will player in the fintechs? Who will rule the fintechs? Who will use the fintech? Fintech startup, this is wealth management, payment, capital market, crowdfundings, lending, and insurance enterprises. Technology developer could be cryptocurrency, this is a 4.0 technology, cloud computing, big data, analytic, and media developer. The financial customer could be enterprises, could be SMA, could be individual. Perhaps the participant of this webinar have used the pinjaman online on online payment and have some loan from just only 30 minutes. The finance is already transferred to our reckoning. In the conventional transfer, if we want to send money, we have to send reckoning. So if we want to transfer the reckoning, for example, from Indonesian bank, so the receiver should have the same reckoning in Indonesian bank, but in financial technology, it's not used to be. We don't have any reckoning bank in the same bank, but we can transfer it with a less prices. Traditional financial institution is also included in fintech technology. It is a conventional bank, insurance enterprise, a stock brokerage firm, and venture capitalist enterprise is also in fintech technology. What they do now, they're not doing the payment. They just be the regulator or just be the operator in the fintech ecosystem. So the risk is very less for the institution financial. Before fintech ecosystem, when the bank face the customer, the risk of operation is higher. But when the fintech ecosystem came to our world, the bank is only doing as operator and have a mediator between the lender and the borrower. The problem is Indonesia, OJK have a rule, the lender should meet the borrower, but in fintechs, the ecosystem, they don't want to borrower know who is the lender, or lender have a responsibility to know the customer, but the customer has no obligation to know the lender. So the OJK have some rule, and the rule in financial technology is, I think, is very slow in adoption of the regulation about the anonymity, where the borrower know about the lender. And also the government, the financial regulator and legislator in Indonesia, the regulator is in Bank Indonesia, Indonesian banking, and the provision is OJK, financial service. So OJK is financial service. Authority, financial service authority. We can translate in Indonesia as financial service authority. And PPATK is the department from the OJK who is concerned about the anti-money laundering and financial of terrorists. The concept of fintech and risk management. First, when we say about the risk management, after we know about the domain, we have to see the concept of risk management. The concept is almost the same like other risk management in corporate. Fintech is organizing and planning, which has to do with structuring and putting together a fintech risk team. Almost the fintech risk team is combined it from the graduation of STEM and the accountant or economic background. Fintech risk assessment. this is we have to do with providing a detailed identification, the fintech enterprise, this area, and the fintech innovation. This is a problem when the innovation is face the risk area. We have to give a balance between innovation and this area. The regulation not to prohibit the innovation, but the regulation should be provision the innovation and give more balance. And about financial inclusive, or everybody have more aware in financial. They can use fintech in many terms. Many people they use a fintech to buy something for marketplace, and they use a credit card. It's simple. Credit card is not just like credit card. It's only a software. We can use it easily. They can buy credit card with a more control, so the credit card will not offer limits. With fintechs, we can control the limit of the credit card. Also, fintech risk reduction. This is we establish approach to respond, or we call it mitigation. In this management corporate, we say it mitigation to respond to identify the risk. We know the likelihood of the problem, the opportunity, and the probability will happen, and we compare with the impact. So this is a identified risk, and we know class in this monitor and control, which has to do with following up and overseeing the fintech risk of the organization. If we can know this, we can govern the risk management, and we can have a friend with a fintechs. In Master of Information System, we teach students in the government risk management and compliance lecture. This is about something, some context about fintech technology, financial technology. What is the model? When we say about risk assessment, after we know the domain, we know how to deal with the concept of risk assessment, we have to know how to assessment. Assessment, we have to identify what is the risk. Risk can be in the part of company or in the part of customer. Customer and company, or we say financial operator have different risks. Perform quality risk analysis. We can have a qualitative or we can have a quantitative. And qualitative, we can know about the analysis might use numeric rating and non-numeric rating by means of low, medium, high scorecard. We know about a customer who have a risk, high risk, a customer which is classified into high risk or low risk, who is the particular person. The fintech must know who is the customer, or we can say it's about know your customer, KYC, or customer due diligence. They should know who is the customer, and we as a user of the fintech, we should know about the fintechs. Is the fintech is Ponzi scam, use a Ponzi scam, or is fintech is a fraud investment? We have to learn and make a logical, so we will be treated unfair with the fintechs. So this is the same side from the customer and also from the company to make a qualitative and quantitative analysis. But in corporate, we have used expected monetary value to know as calculating. Maybe this is doing by a STEM student. So I see in one Maharani's presentation about doing financial, and maybe this is expected monetary value is also used in STEM curriculum. And the fourth is address fintech enterprise area. This component includes 6 fintech challenges. I already see about the presentation of Governor General of Indonesian Bank about the 6 fintech challenge. The challenge is investment management. How can we make investment by doing fintech? But we should control, because fintech is something we can let him doing anything without control. Customer management, regulation, technology integration, we can use blockchain for cryptocurrency, security and privacy, also the issue. In November, I hope the regulation of the security and privacy will be conducted. And this management practice, and the last, implement fintech innovation solution. This area, this is the very important. This component examine the risks associated with implementing technological enabled financial innovation that could result in new business model. This is a financial stability board doing to make application, process, product, or service as highlighted in the definition of fintechs. The innovation of solution will be more in 2022. If we break down the risk structure, there's two sides, the side of enterprise and the side of innovative. If we lose control about the enterprise, so the investor, customer, we will have the side effect. If we lose control with fintech innovatives, this model will not emerge, will not appear in our country. There will not be in financial inclusive. Application process will not be happen if we make less control. There will be more pinjaman online. We have doing an exoneration clause. What is exoneration clause? We will talk about exoneration clause in Indonesia. This is the most problem in pinjaman online, which is fraud online investment. This is the framework I teach this to our students about the many domain in fintech risk management from the phase and process, fintech enterprise area, and solution risk. Maybe this is will be boring for us if you are not information system or you are not learn in fintech technology. Okay, I skip this. Maybe I will come to this if there is a question about this. But the important will be the new business. The new business will come in the domain 3 when we have a good deal in innovative and solution. This is for example when we evaluated in Sandbox. OJK have a obligation to give a Sandbox assessment when the fintech or new startup were doing and were make some fintech technology offering. Okay. Skip the first. This is a STEM doing. I think Puan Maranis. This is a quantitative risk analysis. We can calculate the EMF or RP or so on. If we compare to ISO from risk management in corporation, we use ISO 21000, which already became an Indonesian national standard. It's the same as when I talk about the first, about how we know the scope. We use risk identification, risk analysis, and risk assessment. This is a complete state from risk management. But in fintechs, we are doing in the two sides, the side from the customer, the side from the company, and also the side of fintech operator. Okay. The model business and this comparison, we will see the different, something different, something not about incumbent and fintechs. Incumbent is a traditional financial like bank. In business model, there is central business model, but in fintech could be distributed business model. If we use blockchain, it's really distributed ledger. Blockchain is now where you buy a cryptocurrency. I buy BTC, I buy Ethereum, which from my Ponsel, from my mobile phone. It's just a distributed business. The ledger is also distributed. This model will exposure to the bank, but when we use a fintechs, the bank only be operator for the fintechs. Legal arrangement customer with financial service institution. This is a banking customer with the banking come to the bank, they want to have a loan. But in legal arrangement in fintechs, only peer-to-peer, only there is a lender and is a borrower. Sometimes the borrower doesn't know who is the lender. The intermediation should be conducted in financial incumbent, but in fintechs, the only intermediation used by the operator. Income can be interest and fee based in incumbent, so there is a tax. But in fintechs, there is no tax. I have already talked about this is with tax department. Also, there will be a tax in 2023, but it's not become a regulation. So the tax is very cheap. When I transfer money to the other bank, I don't have a reckoning in the bank. So in incumbent bank, I should pay more. Indonesia, I should pay about 7,500 to transfer from the one bank to another bank. Then I don't have a same currency. It's the same reckoning. But with fintech, I can transfer to any bank. I can transfer to Malaysian without PayPal. It's very cheap. It's very cheap from the PayPal. The disclosure, limited transparency and confidential is guaranteed. But sometimes fintechs in a shadow bank, they don't use a they use transparency based, but they not preserve the confidentiality guarantee. This is the problem of private data. Solitary approach is prudential, of course, is prudential, and call fintech is only a market conduct. I see in the Malaysia for the comparison, Malaysia have the same, almost the same. There's the fintech used for payment, for lending, but the difference is Malaysia use more for remittance, for AI data, for tax is know your customer. When you use a fintech, it's very difficult to comply all the regulation. So we need a 40-year at least experience from the regulation tax. We have to know your customer. We have to do a customer due diligence. So we have a fintech technology, especially for regulation tax. Wealth tax is already in Malaysia, and crowdfunding is already. Islamic fintech also in Indonesia. It is association Sharia fintechs, ASFI. They say in 2022 it's about 17 Islamic fintechs. Okay, this is in Indonesia. I don't see the Islamic fintech. This is, but there is also about 70 in now in 222. The most is for payment. I think I only use 2 or 3 for the payment. I never use the other. There is many innovative and many creation about this fintech in payment. Lending is also, maybe you want to buy anything in credit. You can buy for a sick payment. But when you not can buy, you cannot pay when there is online debt. There is a problem. What is the problem when you can buy? Okay. The problem in fintechs is exoneration clause or for non-forming loan when you can pay the debt in the month. So what the fintech doing in Indonesia or pinjaman online? They are grab the address and the contact number from your ponsel, and they say to your family, you have a debt. We insist not pay. And they said, if I am a lecturer, our student will have the SMS that I have ever paid for 2 months in our debt. This is a very not good and very annoying. The exoneration clause is doing when we are have not ability to pay. So the fintechs, I think they have an obligation to send a message to order which is not related to us. This is very example. Extending clause is very simple and make the most problem in pinjaman online. I don't want my student know that I have borrow some money. This is the problem in Indonesia. Shadow banking. Shadow banking is a fintech which is not strict to the rule of the bank. They give a highest interest, more than the bank doing. They can give the transfer money if you want to lend from them only in 20 minutes. Bank need at least two days to give a loan, but they can give you just in 20 minutes. This is a shadow banking also. So as a customer, we should pay attention more. We should very logic, and we should know which is the fintech. Is this a fraud in investment maybe? Or is maybe a money laundering and terrorist funding? They offer you the transfer of money. You can doing for your business, you can doing for your small, medium enterprise, but you should know what is the source of the fintech company. Online gambling and the scammer in Indonesia have a binomo. This is also, I think it's also gambling, and Indonesia has banned this binomo, been optional. When you have doing is just to predict when the curve of the stock is increase or is down, when it's bullish or it's bearish. When your guess is right, you have the money. This is a binary option. And also many Ponzi scam. Ponzi scam is also not in fintech. Every financial institution with its fraud investment also doing the Ponzi scam. So the function of fintech is for making transaction, of course. This should be listened by Bank Indonesia, Indonesian banking. In fintech, for finding fund, you can find a funding for your working, for your enterprise. Fintech for saving money and investment. Like you can invest your money in cash, in stock, in crypto coin. I will not say the samples. I don't. My disclaimer is I want not promote them. Fintech for managing risk is very less, but it's already happened in Indonesia. You can buy ticket for going with ship, with train, with aeroplane. You can get a ticket. This is the evolution of fintechs. You can see from the 1950 when we had a dinner club, we said this fintechs 1.0. I think our life is full with point. A society 5.0, industry 4.0, and the fintech is also fintech 3.0. We can use a mobile phone to doing anything. We can buy electronic, we can send money, we can lend money, we can have a crowdfunding for our charity, and so on. Almost we don't think it's a fintech. I think this is application. We don't know this is a fintech. I think it's application. And we sometimes don't care. Is this a fraud investment? This is a fraud application or not? We're just doing it. When the problem of externality clause, we just surprise and we just searching which is the fintech. It's already left to doing that. The fintech 3.0 is now until now it's until 120. This is land NVT. NVT is a blockchain which is not cryptocurrency. This is a token. This is a funny token when the liquidity is more or less than cryptocurrency. When cryptocurrency, I can have a fast liquidity. If I need money, I can disbursement from the maybe from the Bitcoin to the cash. But in NFT is about 3 days. It's about 3 days. It's not very fast liquidity as a cryptocurrency. Also, they use blockchain technology. This is a finance ecosystem. There is a regulator, OJK, Bank Indonesia, also Kominfo. Indonesia at least have 3 regulator. This is very good, I think. So we can control it together. And PPATK, the accelerator, is also a research center and education. Service provider can be LJK, Lembaga Jasa Keuangan, Financial Service Institution, can be also the fintechs as a service provider. And the facilitator could be association. I already mentioned about association of Syria fintechs, consultant, university, and practitioner. And the incubator could be financial service institution, LJK, Lembaga Jasa Keuangan, financial service institution, local government, and other institutions. Capacity builder, no, this is the very good we make a curriculum about the fintechs. We can teach in education and training center. We can teach about the non-segregation of duty, about the fraud. How can we doing a fraud doing it unintentionally or intentionally in the school, in the university, or in a certification education institution. And the digital utility, we can use digital signature, digital contract, cyber security, the CERST, social data scoring, security about the cyber attack, the association of cyber attack, big data provider, blockchain, artificial intelligence, and so on. Also, we can combine blockchain with biometric recognition, but this is something debatable in blockchain. So blockchain is distributed ledger. So if we combine with biometric is follow with the ledger. Okay, customers should be protected and should be educated. Customer, people, students should be care and should be educated. What is the financial technology? What is fraud investment? What is shadow banking? Okay, I think it's more serious. I want to talk about not seriously. Have you ever known that Starbucks is a bank? I want to know in the chatting. Have you ever known that Starbucks is a bank? Have you ever known that Starbucks is a bank? What Starbucks do to be a bank? This is the second question. And where they get the money? There is a Starbucks card. If you are the fans of Starbucks card, you know the Starbucks card. Starbucks card have a minimal deposit, which can be taken out with you. So if you think the Starbucks card have minimal deposit, about the million customer, about the billion customer, Starbucks have a capital income, capital deposit in the Starbucks card. So if you lose the card, you can have the exchange without, and the deposit is still maintained. So Starbucks card in 222, it's say as unregulated bank. So Starbucks card is a fintech company. So they not just sell the coffee. There he is or it's a fintech company. We can see in July 3, 222, the income from Starbucks is not just sell the coffee. Have you ever known what they have the most income? The revenue recognized by the card, Starbucks card, the redemption card. Its revenue is about 3,000. The store value card loyalty program is $1,000 or 600. This is the income from the card. So the Starbucks is also the financial technology. This is a fintech company. So they are not doing just say the coffee, they become a fintech. So we know the Starbucks company have many income from the card. Americans say Starbucks become an unregulated bank. We teach our students about the digital financial innovation, about the big data analysis, the cloud infrastructure, blockchain, biometric, cybersecurity, and artificial intelligence. We have to teach our students about what fraud doing, can fraud become detected by an information system, what is the algorithm, when we can have see the anomaly in our financial transaction, so we can know this is a fraud in investment, this is a fraud, it is fintech with use Ponzi scams. But we should let the innovative grow. The disruptive financial products should be grow. Don't be strict to the rule. We have to loose tightly the rule. It is said by the governor of Bank Indonesia. They said that we should less not tightly to the rule, to the regulation, because the regulation is more slower to adopt this financial and to adopt this phenomena. This is a robo-advisor to buy crypto, to buy stock, with use crowdfunding, to buy supermarket. I have some application to buy petroleum gas company, the gas shuttle terminal. I can buy a restaurant with crowdfunding. Also, in crowdfunding, of course, it's not a open company. It is not a public company. It's a private company. The crowdfunding is used for a private company. When your share is become open or public, you can sell it in crowdfunding. P2P lending, I already tell about it. Technology also. Okay. The principle of fintech, if you see our presentation, my presentation about the legal certainty, we have to, Indonesia have to provoke the legal certainty. The technology should be neutrality and the proportional. Also, this is a Basel framework with use in banking. Set minimum regulatory requirement for international active bank in traditional framework. Some of the new business model of fintechs engage only in one particular aspect of banking. Maybe only payment, maybe only insurance, maybe only in refund or in asset management. They're doing this to control, then to give a proportional agent. So what we should do and what should we control the fintechs? Regulation in Indonesia, there is a regulator for financial, from OJK, for Indonesian banking, and from the Ministry of Information, of Ministry of Communication Information about the protection of personal data in electronic. When there is exoneration clause, when you can buy your debt in 1 month, fintechs cannot trace our address in mobile phone. They can trace our contact. They cannot send a SMS that you have a debt. It's already it's regulated in protection of personal data in number 20 of 2060. If we can use in regulation of communication, Ministry of Communication Information Technology, also there is a standard of ISO about the data privacy protection. It's on. I hope in November it will become a regulation in many fintechs. But the fintech, of course, in this side of fintech, they want to use this standard. Fintech can be treated. If we come back to risk management, there is a threat and vulnerability. What is the threat and the vulnerability in perspective of risk management? The threat could be shadow banking. Who will provision in shadow banking? Of course, is OJK. But what should they do and how they do to monitor the shadow banking? This is not easy. Protection of privacy data. Who should do the protection of privacy data? Cyber attack is also say by in the first day. Fraud can be anything. Everything can be fraud. In education, in financial, not in financial, in on other department can be fraud. Can be doing a fraud. Fraud can be three problem in three excuse in fraud. Can be rationality, can be they have an infant, can be there is a man on the area, so they can do anything. They have opportunity to doing fraud. Loss compliance. In fintech, I think Indonesia have to more innovation in regulate technology, which is help fintech to doing some compliance. Compliance need about 40-year experience to doing compliance in Indonesia. So we need regulated technology, RegTech or fintech. And let's know your customer. Fintech doesn't know who is the customer. They're not doing money laundering, but they be used by their customer to send a money which is the source is money laundering or is a terrorist financial. The operator doesn't know who is the lender. So OJK have a regulation that the lender should be registered. In July 20, they should be registered who is the lender, who is the borrower. At least the operator, the OJK should be know who's the lender. So if the lender is from the terrorist or is the agent from the money laundering, the OJK can be stopped. And the vulnerability, if we say about the threat from the outside, we should know about the vulnerability from our side, from the inside. The vulnerability could be system failure. When I use a token to buy electric, I use token. The token is not available. The system is failure, so I can see my soccer team win because the token is already buy and already paid and already filled to the machine, but the electric is not working. The system failure because of not available. Misinformation is a vulnerability also. The transaction is error. When you buy something, your money is taken over, but you don't have the outcome, the right outcome. I buy a ticket to train from one town to other town with some fintechs. The money is taken away, but I don't have a ticket. That's is error. Financial data security, when to buy a marketplace with some fintechs, they should protect your personal data. And the retention data is about 5 years. No marketplace will in Indonesia will maintain your data about 5 years. So if you have data to be reject or to be returned, the marketplace should maintain your data for 5 years. This is a retention data regulation. But who will do this? Most not marketplace not doing this in Indonesia, I think, not in Malaysia. Corporation with third party. There is no debt collector in the future. When you can buy your debt, the fintech call the debt collector with a criminal acts. They threaten you and they telling your family that you have a debt. They're telling your student, they're telling your friend they have a debt. They use not a good third party to make collect your debt. Implementation in KYC principle. When you come to fintechs, they want to know your face. They want to know your photo with your identity card. They want to know your mother. They want to know your number ponsel. They want to know. Too many attributes should be filled. What the problem? They say it is because principle in know your customer, so you must do. But I think it's too over. Vulnerable to many laundering and terrorists is already done, and the extensive cost or detail and handling customer complaint. We are ending when my package, when my item is not delivered, I have a complaint. But who will learn and will they doing after they know our complaint? This is a very vulnerability in fintech. When your money is loose, you transfer your money about 1 million with a fintech to your friend doesn't receive it, but your money is taken away, you complain to a fintech company. You complain to PPATK, you complain to OJK. What they are doing about it? They will not make adjustment. You say that you must wait until the transaction is happen. You wait until 3 days, the money is not still coming. You complain again, and it came to 1 year, and your money is loose. Your friend doesn't have your transfer, and you lose your money. The complaint is nothing. So OJK promote this check fintech ID to know about the status of the fintech company. Is it a scammer or Ponzi phone? Is it a fraud investment? You can check it. This is obligation of OJK to make a detection, to know about the report from the fintechs. Okay. So the digital economy regulation should secure the privacy of data, the fund protection and data protection. The fund protection also and the data protection should be regulated and should be protected from the malware, from the post major fintech. This is our right to be protected. Who will protect it? Okay. OJK as a financial service authority adopt 5 strategies to support digital financial innovation in Indonesia. There is a holistic and balanced strategy and agile regulation framework, agile regulation framework, market conduct supervision. Okay, what time, Mr. Geradi? I have what time next?
We still have.
Okay, I will skip to regulated sandbox. What is regulated sandbox? Yeah, regulated sandbox, like Dr. Han say, is already used in fintech technology. This is inovasi keuangan digital or digital financial innovation. Every fintech should be follow and should be pass the sandbox regulatory. When they pass, they will have a 6 months recommended to operate in Indonesia. But when they have some requirement which not fulfilled, is about something not recommended, they has to redoing this is about 1 year. So every fintech must be tested or by OJK. Is their business model, their process model, their IT government and communication, the risk management, the anti-money laundering, and the protection from financial terrorists. They should be doing this before they can be operated. So in pinjaman online, when they are, I think the pinjaman online will not pass the regulatory sandbox. When they using a shadow bank with the interest is more higher than a normal interest, in 1 month they should pay about 20% from the total debt. I think it's not logic, it's not rational with it. But many people still they need the money, so they lend money from the shadow bank with his fraud investment and fraud banking. Okay, this is 3 ways we're doing by OJK to doing this. Okay, I skip this. Okay, this is 3 ways to regulate it until 222. Okay, This is some regulation by the OJK and Bank of Indonesia about the fintech company, digital service and commercial bank, institution, finance, or the startup. This is more regulation. This is also some improvement. For example, in equity crowdfunding, the regulation focus on regulating equity crowdfunding is aimed at boosting economic growth in Indonesia. Many fintech already pushed to be crowdfunding, Islamic payment using a crowdfunding to get a charity in many cases. The umbrella regulation also record and regulate the mechanism. In our student, we teach about governance, risk, and compliance. This is a very good lecture about what people can do and what system can do to make risk management and to doing compliance and to control and or to government the people and the system. We make this as a title of our lecture, government, risk, and compliance. Customer protection contents also is included in this lecture, in the lecture of governance and or GRC. We use it. Okay. Negotiation problem about integration. One platform can offer more than one regulator. I think this is not problem now, but I think it's very grateful. It's very benefit. We have benefit from more than one regulator. Maybe it's not easy for the regulator for the OJK, but for customer, is a good side. Disruption, this is very debatable. Is lender and the borrower should be anonymity or non-anonymity? OJK say that should be, at least to the OJK, should be non-anonymous. OJK should know who is the lender, the money, who is the source, what they're doing. So the KYC and customer due diligence should be conducted to the lender in the sandbox regulatory. Capability building followed by manpower for competency digital, like banking, like very restriction which is by the fintechs. So example, some payment with OVO are by some big company, also in Dana, so big company, they try to make money from the payment in fintechs. A very big company, it switched from the insurance to be asset capital or asset taker from some other fintechs. Okay, this is a good detail. It is a technology to help a fintechs. About the market surveillance, regulatory is the last presentation. What they're doing in regulatory technology in Indonesia is more, is less have a regulatory technology. Market surveillance is already about it to until 20 regtex. They're doing this, they're doing regulatory reporting, stress testing, capability planning, fraud detection, and cybersecurity, risk management, CDD, and KYC. Okay, thank you. Terima kasih. It is the word for thanks in Indonesia. And it's already about 50 words. Thank you in Indonesia. Thank you. I give it back to Mr. Galadi. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Dr. Yefri.
I close this. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Yefri, for the informative sharing session. Now I would like to welcome any question from the floor. We already have 2 questions from the audience. The first one is from Dr.
Okay. From Dr. Nurihan.
Dr. Nurihan Abdul Rahman. Dr. Yefri, what are the possible challenges in protecting data privacy while adopting any fintech solution?
Yes. The challenge is the fintech company doesn't want to use a standard for data privacy protection. What is the problem with a fintech company to not use the privacy data protection? The problem is they have to make a transparency to the OJK. They have to say who is borrow from, who is borrow from their company, then who makes a ledger. So the principle of pen technology, they don't make a ledger. They only as an operator, but the regulators, they say that not should be only an operator. That should be at least the compliant. That should be who wrote the report. The pen technology doesn't want to make a report. They said, I am only an operator. I'm just make a meeting between a lender and the borrower. They are not doing the operational risks. They are not doing the compliance. This is the problem when the spirit of fintechs not doing just doing peer-to-peer, but the regulator said not peer-to-peer. They should be make a report to the OJK. Okay. I think this is the problem. OJK force them to doing some compliance. They force them to doing some report. But the fintech said that I don't want it. I don't want to doing this. The regulator say is about the protecting data privacy. The resistance of data should be 5 years. They said, what should I do in 5 years? What should I keep? Why should I keep the data for 5 years? This is a regulation from the Ministry of Information. In Indonesia, we should keep the data for 5 years. What should I do to keep data for 5 years? So there is a debatable. Can OJK is not want to force them, but it should be done. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Yofri. I hope that answer satisfies Dr. Nurihan's question. I'm sorry. The next one is from Indra Kurniawan. Thank you, Dr. Yofri, for the explanation. I have 2 questions. Why don't banks, especially in Indonesia, support cryptocurrencies? And will fintech disrupt conventional banking?
Okay, it's a very good question. Right now in 2022, there is a problem when MUI banned the cryptocurrency. They say the cryptocurrency is not related to Sharia provision. This is a garar when the expectation and the uncertainty of the transaction is the problem. But in Indonesia, the bank itself is not prohibited the cryptocurrency. When you ask about why don't bank, especially Indonesia, support, they can support. What can they support? But they can not also prohibit the cryptocurrency. This is problem. They can support, but they can also prohibit the cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is more cheap. You can have a fast liquidity. You can buy, you can save your money. You can save investment in cryptocurrency. But some people already ban it, not to doing this. And will fintech disrupt conventional banking? I think it's already done. When you want to get a loan, I already say it's only need 20 minutes to have a loan from the online investment. When you come to the bank, is need two days to have, at least two days to have the loan. So the people will make the faster execution. It is already done in this. But the problem is how we can control it. How we can control where the exoneration clause not read by the customer. The customer want the money, but they want to read. I very interesting with Puan Maharani's presentation. The read is very most problem. Customer don't want to read the clause. They just want to sign it and get the loan. When the exoneration clause happen, they complain. The problem is not in the company. Is also in the part of the customer. They want to read carefully. They want to read comprehensively what is the clause in P2P lending. Okay, I think the
next
third
one
is okay.
from Ruhimat. I think this is the continuation from the question from Dr. Nurihan. How does the government guarantee the security of online financial system from hacker attacks? Has the government implemented a fintech risk assessment to protect the financial system?
Okay, thank you, Is, for Mr. Rohimat.
Mhm.
How does the government guarantee to secure of online financial system? Okay. The guarantee is put on OJK. OJK as a provision have the obligation to guarantee the security of online financial system. But when something happen, we don't complain, give a complaint to OJK. We complain to PPATK. PPATK is for the report when something happen. Something happen in transaction, we complain to this. So there is a two side who make a provision and two doing when something in the people, in the community. Has the government implemented a financial risk assessment to protect the financial system? No, they can do this to fintechs. Fintech has independent. They want not to be forced by the government to implement this assessment. Sometimes I think fintech don't care if they just want to have a money. They want to stay the rule of the banking rule. They call a shadow banking. There are many shadow banking. We will not implement it, the risk assessment. Then the government cannot be forced it. OJK has already made some regulation to force, but it is very slow to be adopted, and not very low, but they want to adopt it, the regulation. This is a problem in Indonesia. Fintech is growth in 2022, but government should be have a right to protect the people, and they have to force it, like or not, they have to have a force fintech to be comply with the regulation. Okay, I think that's all.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Yafi. Is there any more question? One more question, if the audience want to ask question to Dr. Yafi. Okay, thank you, everyone. Dr. Yafi, if there's anyone would like to contact you, is it possible to share your contact information?
I will share my email. The problem is in Indonesia, where we should teach students, where we should teach about the fintechs, about the fraud, in where is in department. I think STEM is good to learn, content is good to learn about the fraud, but they should learn deeply, because the technology is more deeply, and I think it's a problem. Accountant student don't have a level of content, or they don't have a thoughts about the blockchain, but at least they know the regulation of blockchain in Indonesia. Okay, this is a problem in our student, and I think in bachelor degree it's not easy to implement it, the content of this knowledge. Okay, I already put something. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Yafi. For Mrs. Marhainis Jamaluddin, is there any additional closing remarks? And if is any student or anyone would like to contact you about STEM education, is it possible to share your contact information, such as an email, Mrs. Marhainis? Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I include already.
Yes, Mrs. Marhainis. Any additional remark, closing remark for closing this session?
Nothing, but it's quite good information sharing by Dr. Yafri. I think that's why we are saying that STEM is actually should be more holistic. saying
Yes.
that even accounting, accounting is in Malaysia. I mean, the students only takes accounting subjects and exclude some of the science subjects and also the additional mathematics. So I think it should be, include everything. So it should go to STEAM and STREAM also.
Yes.
The full
Okay.
package.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Marhaini. Thus, ladies and gentlemen, the event that we are holding this time has ended. On behalf of the guest lecture series committee, we would like to thank you to all parties involved who
Thank
have
you.
been willing to help carry out this event so that it goes smoothly. Thank you for the head of faculty, Dr. Juraini. Thank you to the Dean of Faculty of Arts, Dr. Rahma. Thank you for both distinguished speaker, Mrs. Marhainis and Dr. Yefri. Thank you for all participant, professor, lecturers, researchers, colleagues, students, all of the participants who are already in this room. We also would like to apologize if there are any shortcomings during the preparation and implementation of this event. Hopefully, this will help us to strengthen our knowledge and expand our thoughts for all disciplines. Furthermore, hopefully, this event will be beneficial for all of us in particular, society and the world in general. I am Geraldi, as moderator, would like to excuse myself from this event. Thank you and see you next time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Salam.
wabarakatuh.
Okay.
Thank you, Pak Demas.
Thank you, everybody. Okay,
Okay.
Assalamualaikum. Jumpa lagi.
Thank you, Dr.
Terima kasih.
Rizwan.
Selamat.